When I saw it on the 24th of February in the news that my country started a war against Ukraine, I was just shocked. Some of my friends who live close to the Russian border, they were mentioning the tanks driving on the roads, but no one actually expected the actual war. All my friends are against war, and they're as shocked as I was. I can't really say that the majority of Russian population thinks similarly, but you must understand that the only source of information for many people who are older than, I guess, 50-ish, maybe 60, it's the TV. And TV it's not the free media. We don't have the free media, and the last free media that existed in the country were taken down very recently. So we don't have any free media sources anymore. So the only source of information many people in the country have is the television. However, I looked into the recent polls, and hopefully there will be a moment when I can say that most Russians think that war is unjustified. Recently, the government has blocked the rest of the free media that existed, and the social media such as Facebook and Twitter were also blocked. So it's just getting harder and harder for people to get the actual information. The government has also been doing cleaning the media, like deleting the groups that have different opinion on various things that are happening. And very recently they've introduced the law under which people who call the special military operation the war can face up to 15 years of sentence. I think what the government is presenting in the pro-government media is well aligned with their announcements and the speeches of the members of the parliament and Putin and all the ministers. And basically the war is justified by the fact that we are saving people in Ukraine, in Donbass. So I guess the only source of information, the alternative source of information in Russia is predominantly the Telegram channels. That's what most young people use to get the information about what's happening in Ukraine. It's hard to say when things started to get more authoritarian. So when you're living within this sort of bubble and everything is happening in this bubble, you can't really feel the difference when actually it started. And I think a lot of Russian people started to ask this question to themselves: where is the moment where we missed something, where we did something wrong, or where we could actually do something to prevent it from happening. But I don't think there is one particular moment, and I don't think it's easy to, trace back and to find that place where we could change something. The government has always been not happy with people's freedom, whether this is the freedom of speech, the freedom of culture, the freedom of even, moving to other countries. And I think this situation with the conflict with Ukraine only pushed the government to make the laws more oppressive. And they also have the idea to introduce the law that actually they won't let people who discredit the Russian government and the Russian army, calling the special military operation the war or something like that, they won't let them into the country. And Russian people abroad who are, as I see it, mostly against the war, they don't support what Russian government is doing, and they will be left without the opportunity to go back and see their family. I don't know when I will be able to see my parents and my friends back in Russia. Some of my friends got arrested because of the protests as well, and police are quite violent, as from what we see in the media. And it's just getting harder. The country is shutting down. There will be probably an iron curtain or something like what we had in the Soviet times. The country will be closed in terms of information, in terms of the borders, in terms of the economy, in terms of any collaborations in culture, in science, in education. I don't know. I'm just hoping that the regime will fall at some point. People are scared. And when the economy of the country is collapsing and they lose their jobs because of that, because the companies that decided to leave also leave people without their jobs, and when you also can't express your opinion because you can be fired, I think that makes people participating in protests just less and less likely, I think. People in the West have the luxury of the freedom of speech, of being able to express their opinions, to speak out, to go to the street. In Russia, we don't have this luxury. You can face the sentence even if you go to the street with a poster saying no to war. The economy of the country is collapsing at the moment, and I understand that it's very hard for the Ukrainian people now, but it's also not very easy for Russians as well, because people are losing jobs because of the sanctions. I think sanctions are already started to affect many Russian people, and they are affecting the common people. Like my parents are already affected. The prices gone, I think, about 1.5 times for just the basic stuff. But I think we will see the effect of the sanctions a bit sooner, because there are still some goods in the warehouses. So they're somewhere in the storage, so they will be put on the shelves. And when that will come to an end, this is where we face the crisis. This is where we won't have the goods on the shelves. This is where we face the deficit of the products, of quite basic stuff. Sanctions should target people close to the president and the government. And what has been revealed in the Panama Papers and some other investigations is that most of their money are stored in tax havens, including UK tax havens. I don't know whether the UK government can somehow push the governments of these tax havens to do something with the bank accounts related to the Russian government, but they definitely should if they want to somehow change the situation. Otherwise, the sanctions will only affect the normal Russian people, families, and people who have earned their money by honest labor. I feel ashamed of what my government is doing at the moment as a Russian person, but in the same time I just want people to understand that Russian people are not the Russian government, and that was not our choice. That was the choice that was made by our president and our government. I think no war can be justified. The human life is just the most valuable thing on this planet, and political leaders who give the criminal orders and who make people suffer and bring death and destructions to other countries, they should face justice. Every country should have the right to choose its future, to choose its political path, and people should have the right to choose their future. I feel like I should say all these things while I'm here and I'm able to speak out and talk in the names of Russian people who do not want war. And I'm here to speak out, and I'm here to stand with Ukraine.